Last year, in 2014 that is, Expendables 3 was released in cinemas. Expendables, of course, is this big series of blockbuster movies featuring Sylvester Stallone and a whole bunch of other action heroes joining up together on the big screen. Now, the Asylum, known for their mockbusters, movies that basically rip off other movies with bigger budgets and more production value, took the opportunity to make a mockbuster of this film series called Mercenaries. And wouldn't you know, that's exactly what I'm going to discuss. Right off the bat, I have to admit that at some points in my life I have been something of a film snob, in the sense that I really love movies with great special effects and big production value, and I have been very snooty about, B-movies, in the sense that they look very cheap. But I've lightened up considerably. For example, when I reached my 20s, I started watching trauma movies. I got the two first Toxic Avenger films and Sergeant Kabukiman NYPD on VHS. When I heard about mockbusters, I really did not care for what I saw or heard of it. Mostly because I thought it was really tacky, the way they were copying big blockbusters with smaller budgets and such. Then again, they gained a lot of popularity with Sharknado, which I really enjoy actually. And the second one, which is called the second one, is even better in my opinion. But what really got me interested in Mercenaries, or as they call it here in Sweden at least, Expendabelles 3.0. 3.0, I guess that means it's not just a movie, it's a computer program. Well, it's actually very different from the Expendables movies, because this has an all-female cast. What makes me so interested in Mercenaries that I choose to make a vlog about it? Well, it's simple. I love female action heroes. I love action heroes, superheroes, heroes in general, regardless of gender, but I can't deny that there is something about a heroine kicking lots and lots of ass that makes me so joyful. I mean, I love Buffy the Vampire Slayer, Xena, Warrior Princess, even Charlie's Angels. But, well, Charlie's Angels, I'm talking about the movies with Lucy Liu, Cameron Diaz, and Drew Barrymore. Myself, I've been focusing more about how tough and cool these characters are, while some have thought that they were more exploitative, showing skin and sexualizing them. So, not something that has bothered me so much, but I totally understand why some people have a problem with that. Also, Expendables 3. Now, that was the first of these movies that had a female member of the group. And that's kind of the problem. Just one. It doesn't bother me that much when, for example, a superhero team only has one female member, like Susan Storm in a Fantastic Four. Wonder Woman at some times is the only female member of Justice League. To me, it doesn't matter so much if there's only one girl in a group, as long as they have a lot more to contribute than just being the one girl in the group. But yeah, Expendables 3 only has one girl, and this time it bothers me because, well, have you seen the poster for Expendables 3? It looks like a goddamn class photo with, so many guys, just one chick, Ronda Rousey. Yeah, I was really excited about the idea of an Expendables spin-off with just women. But hey, when I saw the trailer for Mercenaries, I thought, hey, this is really awesome. Sure, it's a very low-budget movie, an indie film, a mockbuster even, but like I said, I've warmed up to that type of movies considerably, and I thought it was so cool that it focuses on 4 women that in their own different ways are really badass. So how about we just get to the movie at last? So this is kind of a typical plot that we've seen before with the president's daughter getting captured in Kazakhstan, I believe. What the hell was she doing there anyway? By Brigitte Nielsen, who is the bad guy, or bad gal, I suppose. Now, Brigitte Nielsen, I have to admit that I have found her somewhat creepy. Not saying that she's a bad human being, but there's something about the way she appears on screen in some movies that gives me the heebie-jeebies, to put it frankly. And for the longest time I thought it was because of her length, that she's a big woman, that's what scared me, but not quite so. I realized this when she makes her entrance in the movie, because at first she's wearing sunglasses, and I'm thinking, hey, she doesn't make me that scared. Maybe I was too harsh on her. And then she takes off her sunglasses and I'm like, oh my god, I am so terrified. Please help me, God. Because she has the craziest eyes you can imagine. Like, wow. To me, she's kind of like a female Dolph Lundgren. I mean, she's Scandinavian, blonde, very tall. But she's also got these crazy ass eyes, almost like Gary Busey. So I'm imagining that if they had been using male actors for this film, it would have been either of those 2 guys. And, well, she kidnaps the president's daughter, demands a ransom, which does not make Cynthia Rothrock that happy. Cynthia Rothrock is kind of like a white Amanda Waller, or a female Nick Fury with 2 eyes. So she swears up a storm and thinks of a plan to rescue the president's daughter. So she looks up 4 women who all have a military background or have been working for the government, that did bad things that got them locked up. Basically to say, are you bad enough to do that to save the president's daughter? And she looks up Kristanna Loken from Terminator 3 and Uwe Boll's blood rain. Yeah, we all make mistakes. Cassandra Clay, played by Zoe Bell, who has been a stuntwoman on Xena and played herself in Quentin Tarantino's Death Proof and has done stunt work in some of his other movies. Then we have Vivica A. Fox from Kill Bill as Raven, who is sort of like a female Wesley Snipes, while Zoe Bell's character is kind of like a female Kurt Russell in a way, because she's got this, well, slightly snarky way of expressing herself while being the one in charge. But that's as far as I go with the comparisons to male actors, because we shouldn't get all that caught up with labels. Sometimes they're useful, but sometimes they are more in the way. So Kristanna Loken, she's kind of cool. I mean, very thoughtful. She's very expressive with her eyes, like when she's wondering things or gets confused or angry even. And she's very quick to ask questions, almost like if she's the leader. I mean, the first time I watched the movie, I kind of forgot that it was Zoe Bell who was the leader, and started thinking that, wait, wasn't Loken the leader in this? So it's Kat and Clay that we focus on mostly within the team. Cynthia Rothrock does not appear much in this movie. It's more of a glorified cameo. Nicole Billerback, God, I hope I say her name right, is Meilin Fong, the tech expert and explosive lunatic. Not so crazy though, but she's more of the smart ass of the group, making wisecracks and such. And then Raven, Vivica A. Fox, is, well, the toughest of the group, shoots first without asking questions, or rather the one who wants to shoot first without asking questions. Without giving too much away, this plan was kind of had some imperfections. I mean, Kristanna Loken says it best when they are being briefed that seems like Uncle Sam is pretty effing desperate. So yeah, when you get people from prisons who are, well, not necessarily that reliable, things might go a little wrong. Yeah. Then, so the mission kind of goes haywire kind of early when they got this smuggler, Vess, who's transporting them under the guise of being slaves, female slaves, before they get halted by some of Ulrika's men. And one of them is this horrible, disgusting pig who makes a really bad proposition to Kat, and that's when Raven snaps and starts pow 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 pow. And before you know it, bullets go zinging through the air. After that, they sort of have to come up with a backup plan, and that's when they bump into this little teenage girl, this really annoying brat called Lexi, who kind of wants to join up. I mean, that's a very common thing for action films, to have a kid who befriends some of the heroes. And she helps them to hijack a truck from Ulrika with nuclear missiles, I think it was. And they pretend that Meilin is their hostage. And boy, the name they gave her, Fanny Pong. I mean, if you know some things about British slang and Asian stereotypes, it's not that difficult to figure out what they meant with that name. So yeah, they're trying to pretend that they are terrorists infiltrating the place. And that's when they start to think that maybe we shouldn't just focus on the daughter of the most powerful man on the planet, but also these poor women are being held captive for the oldest trade in the world, prostitution, as Zoe Bell redundantly points out. Yeah, thank you for that, duh. Yeah, that's when they start to realize what a horrible witch Ulrika is. And Brigitte Nielsen is having so much fun with this character. And, well, Kat thinks they should do something about all of these female slaves in her fort. Nay, says Clay, because she's the leader, but, you know, they are starting to have second thoughts. I mean, I think this movie actually has a lot of interesting stuff. I mean, besides the fact that the heroines don't rely so much on sex appeal. I mean, there's this scene when they have just met and they have to change clothes. Kat wonders if they really have to undress in the open, Raven is kind of teasing her like, what, are you shy? And Cat is like, oh, could you please unhook my bra? Sort of reminds me of the prison shower scene in Tango and Cash when Stallone is being a little uncomfortable about taking a shower with Kurt Russell, but it's not so much of that really. What's there a lot of though is, the action, mostly from Zoe Bell, who is, you can really tell why she has been such a successful stunt woman and action actress, because she knows how to make a fight scene. It would have been lovely if the editor had known a lot more about editing action scenes as well, but hey, it's a mockbuster, so the scene at the start when she gets taken out of prison, when she gets into a fight with another prisoner, she like whoops this prisoner's ass and the rest of the body with her food tray, and then she just sits down and is like, I just want a goddamn pizza. That's a pure joy. While Kristanna Loken is more of the, sardonic type, slightly more stuck up, but she also doesn't like to take crap from people like this prison guard that is trying to do something very nasty to her, and she retaliates with tossing a coin into his eye, sort of like Bullseye from Daredevil. And Mei Lin is, a smart ass. There are some Asian jokes that it doesn't surprise me if some people have a problem with, ethnic stereotypes and such, but in her case, when she uses it, it's kind of like a defense mechanism, sort of the type of, I'm gonna make fun of myself before anyone else does. Yeah, so the group, most of the group get very tight after a while. And I think what really pushed Clay in particular into, helping the women, the prisoners, was that they've used it a lot in action movies where a supporting character, often a kid or a teenager, gets killed, and Clay is like crying over her bloody body, says stuff like, it's okay, I'm gonna take you to the United States and I'll take you to the mall and we're gonna watch crappy cable movies on TV. If that is not self-awareness, I don't know what is. That's when Clay is basically all Khan or Mendoza. Damn you, Salazar! The first Expendables I thought was mostly boring. I mean, it was a very dull story and didn't engage me very well. Same with the second one until the climax at the end with, Bruce Willis, Arnold, Chuck Norris and so on. Kind of funny how they make fun of each other and themselves, but other than that, the Expendables films, at least those I've seen, may have bigger production value. But to me, what's more important is entertainment value, and in my opinion, Mercenaries has so much more entertainment value because they have these protagonists that I really enjoy, and there aren't quite as many of them, so that makes things a little easier when, or perhaps even if, the actual Expendabelles spin-off happens. I hope they make it at least as entertaining as Mercenaries. Truth to be told, I'm really glad that a film like this can be allowed to exist. So, I'm really glad that I got this. I bought this at the same time as Sharknado, right after Christmas, and I have had plenty of fun watching both of them. No regrets there. Yeah. I wouldn't even mind if they made a Mercenaries 2 or Expendabelles 4.0. Would that be 3.1? Who cares? So that's pretty much all I have to say for this edition of Dakostro Discusses, but I'll come back with some other topic later on. So till then, take good care of yourself. Ciao.